Your favorite rapper will have you packed inside of a body bag. Eternal vacation and you'll be laying on a slab. In the morgue, cold as a frozen block of ham. And if not dead, then at the very least, he'll have you inside of a cell. Like the technology that connects your device to 5G. Your mind sleep, your mind dream. And slumber is the cousin to the sleep you get when you 6 feet under. Brother, to me sleep to the extremely awake seems to be a punishment. You're in the presence of one of the brothers with that intelligent, rugged, slick frequency you can see is probably seen on the screen on the control board inside of the mothership. I found one of the keys to unlocking me, hidden within the words of chapter 26. Look, I'm just one of the poets. I'm not the hottest nor the coldest. I'm just perfect atmospheric conditions for anything with life to continue growing. Former menace to society, finally free. I'm Sharrief, had he not ended up dead beside Cain, but instead came home solid after surviving a decade plus bid. Now home, answering my phone, press O, it feels weird. Count time in my mind, the details are so defined, so clear. There is no fear in me, I don't know scared. I don't know those emotions like I don't know the homies. Whenever there's detective questions in the air, that's a lesson, don't ever go there, oh yeah. You can see I'm headed to legend purely off of my writing. My energy is electrifyingly vibrant. If you've ever been in the presence of Rian, then you were probably one of the enlightened, or you showed up dark-minded and then you let me let the light in. You left enlightened, my mind heavy as the evidence whenever there's a federal indictment. The flow dope, about as close as I'll get the federal indictments. 10 plus calendars in prison, listen to me when I'm rhyming. Federal estate, no matter the case, no matter the place, man, it's all the same. Your life is giving up timing. A life where you can't get those minutes returned. A lesson you learn the minute that you put that time in. I'm just a man standing in the jungle among all these kings lying, looking for yourself on the path of success, and yet you've yet to find them.
Welcome and good evening to another episode of Music and Mimosas. I am your host, Allie Senecaut, and I have Rian or Deuce here with me. I have Collin, who is his engineer. And let's start off with some questions. How you guys doing tonight?
All is well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty alright. Got some great people here tonight, so.
No. Brother, how are you?
Doing pretty well. Chilling.
Feeling like a road dog villain.
Chilling like a villain.
So, question of the day is, where did Rian or Deuce come from?
Well, very quickly, the names themselves, is just this. Depending on where you know me from, it's all it is. You know, just you go places and you get a name. You know what I'm saying? So in some places people know me as Deuce. My parents named me Rian. Depending on where you might know me, you might say, "Hey, there goes Blackface." You know, so it's just. Just depending on where you know me. You know what I'm saying? So it's more so just about any event that you do know me, just so you don't get confused. I just said, hey, call me either. I mean, you see the face, connect the name. You might not know Rian, but yo, I know Deuce. You might not know Deuce, but know Rian.
Hear that. For sure. So, how's the music process going for you two?
Oh man, what you think? How you think it's going?
It's going pretty good. I mean, we have like a pretty insane amount of songs that we're just kind of like cataloging them all and, just trying to see which ones we feel like are best to release on the various platforms, like in an impactful way.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I only ask you that. I mean, she asked us that, but I say that to you simply because I know that these processes be kind of deep sometimes, man.
Absolutely.
You know, we end up in some very weird spaces.
We have a lot of like crazy conversations that usually kind of like start out our session, and sometimes it's like we have a beat that we're working with and we're just trying to like find something that fits with it. And so it's a very spontaneous process, and sometimes we get some really insane results, just from pulling from what we're feeling in the moment.
Yeah, definitely moment artists. You know what I'm saying? Especially knowing that we live in a time where there's no way you should run out of subject matter. There's no way you should run out of content. There's no way you should run out of art looking at what's taking place.
You're not paying attention.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So, what inspired you to do music?
I mean, like I said, the world, but I don't know. Young. I can't pinpoint exactly when. I just know that I was very young, and one day it hit me. I knew how to make words rhyme. And for real, to keep it real, it could have been very well the first time I read Dr. Seuss. I don't know. To be honest, I just knew that I liked poetry. I love words. I love the sequencing of words. I love syntax, building a sentence and seeing what it has, what it can unfold into, what it can develop into,
I remember you telling me music from your state of Virginia. They have like a particular style of music that influenced you at a young age as well.
Well,
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah,
that's
true
pretty
indeed.
cool. A lot of people don't know about that, so
True
I feel
indeed.
like it deserves some attention.
All right, well, you're digging into the music bag.
Absolutely.
Where I'm from, in Virginia, it's a town called Dale City. It's right outside of Washington, D.C. It's about 20 minutes away from D.C., the DMV area, Virginia, D.C., Northern Virginia, D.C., Maryland. Where I'm from, they have a lot of live music, so I grew up on live instrumentation. You know what I'm saying? The name of the music specifically is called go-go.
Right.
The father of go-go music is said to be a man named Chuck Brown, very talented man. Be on stage performing with these huge 15, 20 piece band sets. You know what I'm saying? He'd be up there, it'd be a collect. By the way, I never had the chance to see him perform live. I've only seen footage of it, but he was a very phenomenal performer, a man named Chuck Brown, like I said. But it influenced an entire culture, Go-go music is, in rock, you have bands that do a lot of cover music, so go-go bands will do cover songs. They'll do other people's music, but they'll do it in a way with a
Like
weird
a remix.
twist. Yeah, a remix, but it's not that. It's because the uniqueness of it is what makes the originality of it, even though it may be somebody else's cover song. And by the way, they're not all cover songs. Some of it is original, but the essence of go-go music is percussion, go-go congos, bongos, steel drums, xylophones. An open mic. You'll have freestyles going on. Like I said, you'll have cover songs taking place. You may have somebody doing an actual song. There's a number of great bands where I'm from that I grew up on.
Sounds like a lot of similarities to hip hop.
It is. It is. I mean, for real, factually right now, just looking across the music landscape, the hip hop landscape, Wale is an artist from DC. You know what I'm saying? So he's probably one of the most notable. And there's other artists, Shy Glizzy, other people, whatever. But the influence of what go-go has done in music has absolutely filtered out. That's a fact. It's definitely made its way into the art in a number of different ways.
That's crazy,
sure,
man.
For sure.
So, couple more questions. What was it like living in Virginia since you're, the whole go-go thing and Chuck Brown?
I mean, it's Virginia's a great place for real. I would suggest going there and to commit crime, but it's funny because when you follow the artists in hip hop, Virginia's a place that comes up often. They say Virginia's for lovers, but when you listen to the music, what you'll hear often is Virginia's for hustlers. Virginia's for the money getters. So yeah, it's a beautiful place to live, just in terms of family, culture, but especially if you just know the history. Well, maybe historically probably not, but it's still a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. I love it, but still I had to leave it. I had to find new places to you know, plant roots, and so I just how I ended up out here in Colorado. You know, being in Virginia was its own thing. Being young, I made it to the penitentiary, you know, so that in and of itself, you know, is its own thing that just leads it to how we end up here on this couch.
Absolutely.
So it's on
It's been one
chapter.
crazy journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how was that for you then?
Oh man, I mean, public service announcement to all the youth out there: stay out the streets, stay out of prison. You know what I'm saying? Stay away from criminal behavior. I mean, I get it, you know, like many, I would say that we follow paths that lead us places that when you're there and you have the chance to reflect, you would say, damn, I wouldn't have done that. You know? So.
Quit eating Tide Pods, kids.
Yeah, you know it.
Doing dumb stuff.
Yeah, don't eat Tide Pods, stay out of the penitentiary. You know what I mean? Don't be a destructive influence in your community. Be a constructive one.
For real.
You
Absolutely.
know, go out here and progress, advance, enhance your community. Don't destroy it. Don't be a part of the destruction of it. Don't sell drugs in it. Don't shoot guns in it, man. Don't hurt the people that are in it.
The mind is a terrible thing to waste.
You know.
Just be a good person. That's really what it all boils down to sometimes, you know?
Absolutely. Give me some.
So, speaking of, you know, cops and jail and all that, how do you feel about the Black Lives Matters movement?
I mean, I'll say this. Like, when it comes to standing for something, you should. I'm gonna stand for the things that I believe in, as everybody should. I don't necessarily think that it was handled correctly in a lot of areas. And I think that it's just messed up that we still even have to say that Black life matters.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that
Understood.
should be right. It should
Yeah.
be like I shouldn't as a black man like have to move through the world and feel like, oh shit, my life might not matter. You know what I mean?
You really shouldn't.
You know, so and mind you, and let's be clear, nobody should.
No.
You know what I mean? But you know, I mean the reality is the reality.
Right, exactly.
You know, hence the reason we make the music that we make. You know, speaking to those things.
I think it's important that we're able to like have conversations, you know, that everybody gets to be able to say what they need to say, you know, so that we can like just work stuff out. You know, we're just in my opinion, just a very turbulent time. And you know, what we need to be able to do is to listen to one another, you know. And I feel like there's a lot of like, you know, I can't, you know, just like shut up and listen. You know?
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
But see, we living in mind and knowing that, like in different moments, like when I'm looking at not only what's happening in front of us, right, but then the people who could have influence over that, like whether your influence, and mind you, I think in the name of celebrity, in the name of fame, you know, the number one thing that gets brought up is, well, why aren't you doing this financially? But even outside of that, knowing that you should be out here speaking to what's taking place if you have an opinion about it, or if you have quite possibly a solution. You know, I think that even just in it's crazy, man. Nobody will ever know if you don't listen to the music that we create, how many solutions that we speak to in that room.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, the fact that we have a voice, you know, I think that's the most important part. You know, it's like we have this gift to say something, and I feel like, you know, it's squandered in a lot of cases to, you know, self-promote or, you know, there's so much promise that I feel like, you know, what we're speaking to is to that. That's what I, you know, sympathize with highly.
Okay.
I definitely agree with all that. I mean, for example, today I just saw this kind of, to me it's kind of just a little stupid, but it's like, oh, it's like National Kindness Day, and it's like
We need a day for that?
you need a. That's exactly what I was gonna say. You need a day
for that?
to actually commit yourself to being kind to somebody. And it's just, it just makes me think about the world that we're living in.
You know what I mean? But like it speaks to, I think, the weakness in our inability to like convey the necessity of that. Like we need it in a way, but we don't know how
core
to,
things.
Yeah.
Like things that are so regular and yet they've become abnormal now. It's bro. Just speaking to man, it's funny because I tell you on a regular that knowing that we've created a body of music that all the women, mind you, you're a woman, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We've created a body of music that a room full of women could listen to in a room full of men and nobody would ever feel uncomfortable.
And that's definitely a big part.
And mind you, just knowing that something is basic manners. How are you? I'm good. Excuse me, miss. Oh, pardon self. To know that even as a quality, you don't have it in society, and that's the reason it's not even in the music. You know what I'm saying? You can't even speak about a woman without, referring to her in a derogatory manner. You know what I'm saying? So, it just speaks to the day, the climate of society. You gotta have a kindness day.
Right?
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
It does. Well, I just want to say thank you guys for coming on the show. Unfortunately, we do have to wrap it up.
Thank
That was
you.
fun.
Of course. So, I do want to point out this gentleman here has an amazing music video. The music video is called Dope.
Thank you.
And I want to promote that here and now. So, others than said, thank you guys for coming on. You guys
Thank
are
you.
amazing
Thank
guests. So, everyone have a good evening. Thank you.